Fredrich Froebel was born on April 21, 1782. He lived in the small town of Oberweisbach in the German state of Thuringia. He was the youngest of 5 children. His father was a Lutheran pastor, and his mother died when he was only 9 months old. His father remarried, and Froebel did not have a good relationship with her. She was a wicked stepmother who neglected him. Her rejection of Froebel was intense. He did not feel loved by her, and he was made to feel a stranger in his own home. His father also shared similar feelings about him. He called Froebel mischievous, untrustworthy, and a slow child. His home life made him feel shy and socially inept. Froebel's father felt that the personality traits he possessed would be best served at an all-girls school. At this school, Bible study was one of the main subjects. He began to find solace in the hymns that he learned at his father's church. After some time, Froebel's uncle took him in. His uncle was a mild, gentle, and kind-hearted man. Froebel started a basic school at 10, where he studied all subjects and made his first friendships. At the age of 15, Froebel became an intern to a forester and a surveyor. He believed that the forester was inept of teaching him necessary skills. At age 17, Froebel attended Jena University. He studied all subjects because he wanted the universal key to all knowledge. By studying the world, he could discover the link to how all subjects are linked to their creator. Froebel could not afford to finish college because he loaned money to his brother and served prison time at the university. His father then agreed to pay off his debt if he would leave the family inheritance alone. After odd jobs, he went to Frankfurt to where he studied architecture.
Froebel began as an educator in 1805 at a secondary school in Frankfurt, where he learned about Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi's ideas. He later worked with Pestalozzi in Switzerland, where his ideas further developed. Froebel's career includes live-in teacher, teaching at a boarding school in Berlin, 1-year service in the Corps, assistant at a museum of mineralogy, and founder of the German General Education Institute. He has authored many educational pamphlets, magazines, and publications, founded an educational institute in Wartensee, as well as headed up an orphanage in Bergdorf. He returned to Germany, dedicated himself almost exclusively to preschool child education, and began manufacturing playing materials in Bad Blankenburg. In 1837, he founded a care, playing and activity institute for small children in Bad Blankenburg. Fredrich Froebel's great insight was to recognize the importance of the activity of the child in learning. He introduced the concept of free work into pedagogy and established the game as the typical form that life took in childhood, and also the game's educational worth. Activities in the first kindergarten included singing, dancing, gardening, and self-directed play with the Froebel gifts. Froebel intended, with his mother play, a songbook that he published, to introduce the young child into the adult world. These ideas about childhood development and education were introduced to academic and royal circles through the tireless efforts of his greatest proponent, the Baroness Bertha Marie von Marienholtz-Bülow. By meeting many dukes and duchesses, Froebel was able to raise lots of money to fund the arts and the opening of his beloved kindergarten. Froebel was an idealist. He believed that humans are essentially productive and creative, and that fulfillment comes through developing these in harmony with God and the world. His vision was to stimulate an appreciation and love for children, to provide a new but small world for children to play with their age group and experience their first gentle taste of independence. His kindergarten system consisted of games and songs, construction, and gifts and occupations. The play materials were what he called the gifts, and the activities were the occupations. His philosophy also consisted of 4 basic components, which were free self-activity, creativity, social participation, and motor expression. Froebel's vision for kindergarten, which is the German word for garden of children, was children working like little architects to build and design their own structures. He developed the principle that children in their activities should always integrate existing structures into new ones in a synthetic whole. Froebel's philosophy is child-centered. Froebel's ideas for the kindergarten teacher were that of a model teacher. A mother-like figure, loving and kind, she must be an agent who cooperates with God and nature. The teacher's role was to create positive feelings of emotional security and self-esteem. Children should learn freely and naturally. In Froebel's kindergarten, the main activities were playing, expressing inner feelings, and planting and growing gardens. Gifts and occupations. Froebel created 10 original gifts, or objects that allowed creative opportunities. He also created books of songs, stories, and games. 3 ways that the gifts were used were forms of life, forms of knowledge, and forms of beauty. Froebel wanted his pieces used for forms of life, as in using the pieces to represent things from the child's life. For example, the sphere is an orange, the cylinder is a baby bottle or a wheel, and the cube is a house. His forms of knowledge were activities such as differentiating the pieces by naming the geometric shapes, sorting the pieces, counting the number of pieces or the number of surfaces, edges, or corners, and introducing the concepts of on, under, front, back, up and down, in front of or behind. Simple physics concepts could also be discovered using the pieces. By exploring these properties, children will be naturally curious, and their discoveries will create a foundation of basic science. Forms of beauty. The gifts lend themselves to create patterns and designs by spinning solids. Gift 1. Balls of yarn. Froebel recognized that a ball is often a first or favorite toy of infants. It is lightweight and easy to grasp or hold. For Froebel, the ball symbolized unity because it is a complete whole, a pure form. The whole is the beginning of understanding, and everything else is derived from the whole. Learning is derived from impressions formed during play. The child forms his or her first impressions of the physical world by holding, rolling, or watching the ball. Play with objects and interaction with the mother or caregiver help the child to begin to differentiate his or herself from the rest of the world, or the whole. The balls help a child begin to distinguish form, color, and movement, the qualities of matter in the physical universe. It is also early physical activity to improve hand-eye coordination and gross motor control. Gift 2. Gift 2 contains 2 2-inch cubes, 1 2-inch cylinder, and 1 2-inch sphere. Froebel called this gift the children's delight. With the difference of its features, the beads found in every kindergarten class were developed from Froebel's second gift and are perhaps more suitable for children 3 and 4 years old. One of the ways Froebel intended for this gift to be used is by having the child shake the box and ask, "What's inside?" Open the lid and reveal the pieces. Have the child touch, feel, smell, hold, and examine the sphere, then the cylinder, and the cube. Gift 3. Froebel's Gift 3 divides the 2-inch cube from the previous gift into 8 1-inch cubes. Gift 4. Froebel's Gift 4 is only a slight variation of Gift 3, but the rectangular prisms open up many more possibilities. Gift 5. Gift 5 consists of a 3-inch cube divided twice in each direction, with some cubes divided diagonally into triangular prisms. Gift 6. Froebel's Gift 6 again divides the 3-inch cube into more varieties of rectangular prisms, including 18 oblong blocks, 12 flat square blocks, and 6 narrow columns. Frank Lloyd Wright's Larking Building can be represented by using the contents of Gift 6. Gift 7. Seventh in the series of Froebel gifts, this set of harcatry tablets contains a variety of geometric shapes made from either wood, plastic, or paper. This gift signifies a move from the solid to the flat surface. The first 6 gifts allowed a child to create a 3-dimensional miniature of objects in their world. Gift 7 allows the child to represent these objects in 2-dimensional form. Gift 8 represents the edges or outlines of these objects. This continues the cycle of abstraction, from solid surface to line. For the child, the shift from concrete to abstract comprehension should not happen abruptly, but build gradually from previous gift play. It's important to note that, although Froebel used these items in his kindergarten, he did not establish the sequence of gifts after Gift 7. This was done by his followers, after his death, and several numbering schemes developed over the years. Gift 9. Froebel's Gift 9 features small objects, often in a variety of colors, to represent the point. Continuing the logical cycle from the solid forms of Gifts 1 through 6, the surface of Gift 7, and the lines of Gift 8, and now to Gift 9, children are now asked to create using only points. So, the progression of gifts has reached a higher level of abstraction. A point with no dimension, essentially only position, is referenced. Froebel understood that children cannot be taught these abstract concepts, but they can discover them through play and internalize these ideas. Gift 10. The framework gift. Due to the limited technologies during Froebel's time, the wooden sticks were used with dried peas. Toys inspired by the framework gift include K'NEX and Tinker toys. Froebel also developed a series of occupations such as sewing, weaving, and the modeling with clay, for children to reconstruct their experiences through play. Froebel was quoted saying, "Play is the highest expression of human development in childhood, for it alone is the free expression of what is in a child's soul." In 1827, Froebel opened the Institute for Early Education of Children. In 1840, his establishment was coined as a universal kindergarten. Froebel's kindergarten system grew internationally and as an education movement. It is a well-established part of the American school system as well as many other parts of the world. Froebel died on June 21, 1852, in Marienthal. His second wife, Louise Froebel, continued to spread her husband's philosophy for nearly 50 years after his death. Froebel highly influenced many well-known people in the United States, including Elizabeth Peabody and Maria Cross, who pioneered kindergarten in the U.S. He influenced the famous toy maker Milton Bradley and the well-known architect Frank Lloyd Wright. Lloyd Wright used Froebel's concepts of kindergarten in his own designs as an architect. Froebel was a major influence of philosophical idealism. He had disciples that established kindergartens all over the world. Germans brought the idea of kindergarten to the United States in 1848 after the failed revolution. Elizabeth Peabody started a kindergarten movement in 1867. She translated Froebel's books. Kindergartens were private schools until 1873. Modern uses. Kindergartens still use play as a learning avenue. Froebel's contribution to education was his exaltation of the dignity of children and children's rights to be children rather than miniature adults.